on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day today. Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies in the deep, deep red today. Finally, after 5 straight weeks of nothing but solid pumping, we are seeing a bit of a correction, a bit of a pullback. Having a look at what happened, Bitcoin was up at around $19,500. We had a dip all the way down to $16,374. We tried to have a little bit of a relief bounce, and it looks like we are pushing down yet again. So the biggest question on everyone's mind right now is, was that the top? Are we finally in for that 30%, 40% correction for Bitcoin? Also, I want to talk about specifically what actually caused this dip, because we have not only some technicals, but also some fundamentals. We have some news that has come out recently from Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, in reference to some potential U.S. regulation from the Trump administration, which, if it was to happen before the end of Trump's term, would not exactly be that great for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. That, paired along with some other fundamental news, some on-chain analysis, we have, in fact, the numbers that we're seeing today. So I do want to talk about that. Now, there are some other things we could discuss specifically. You know, we have had over $1.9 billion in crypto longs that were liquidated. Crypto market cap total has shed $70 billion. Now, keep in mind that it is the last Friday of the month. We know that usually when futures tend to expire, we do see that volatility. Granted, it's now paired with a holiday in the US, and it's not surprising that we're seeing some of these crazy prices. In fact, actually, I think out of the 4 years that I've been doing this, 3 of them, we've actually had a dump on or around Thanksgiving, which I don't know why I didn't mention that, but now that I think about it, this actually is common. You see a lot of the memes coming out like, oh, Black Friday crypto sale, right? So that is that. And also, one other thing I want to mention is that it does look like PayPal is not exactly off to the greatest start as far as cryptocurrency. So I do have some good news, though. I do believe that the dip that we had actually could have potentially been a bullish dip, and I'll show you why in a bit. So we're going to talk about the whys, the hows, the what, the ifs, but that being said, hope you're having a great day. Thank you for stopping by the CryptoZombie YouTube channel. If this is your first dip, well, welcome to the club, because, my crypto portfolio is down 15% today. Oh, darn it, now it's only up 130% from last month, right? And we all know Bitcoin's going to go up to 100K, and then it's going to crash down to like 50K, and people are going to be calling it a scam. Welcome to crypto. So diving in and having a look, yes, my friends, I am sorry to report this, but we have in fact broken our parabolic trend. Now, I do believe that this is in fact healthy. I don't like when things go straight up, because the bigger they are, the harder they fall, or in the case of cryptocurrency, the faster and higher and harder we pump, the harder we usually dump, right? Up like a staircase, down like an elevator. Now, having a look right here, we did in fact, now you could see every time we came down to all of these previous levels, we had a little bit of a bounce. You know, we had some issues right here at the top of the resistance, here at the heart line. Just this morning, we were sitting at the previous support right here, and that acted as resistance. So actually, now we need to look towards our long-term support that we had right here. Actually, it was resistance technically. And yeah, that level could show that Bitcoin may want to come down and retest that a little bit. And that level is around, if we were to fall straight down today, the $14,700 level. Now, I just want to point out from peak to the bottom right there, that would be about a 23% drop, which would be more of what we're used to seeing in these crypto pullbacks, right? You know, the whole meme is that 30% pullback. Now, I just want to talk about the significance of the linear levels right now. Having a look right here, you'll notice that I did mark out the major closes of the months, and we had 19,388 for the top on Coinbase. This was at the all-time high, and we also had the next significant highest weekly close at 16,879. And zooming in right here, right now, to this candle that we have going on, and if I move it to the daily, you'll actually see it's exactly the same. We had literally a perfect wick to the top, and we had a perfect wick to the bottom. And if you do want, I will switch that actually to the daily so you guys can see it happening live right now, okay? Let me get this out of the way. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry. Let me just get rid of these circles. And you can see right here, look at that. Look at that perfect touch we had. This is on the daily. This is what just happened overnight. So this could potentially have been a bullish dump, right? We did have that healthy retracement. However, we have held right here, okay, on this trajectory, right? And we did, in fact, bounce off of that really important level that I had at the weekly close back last year. Now, also switching over to the futures, which are expiring, which do get very volatile on the days of expiry, we also have touched the top of the previous all-time high monthly close for the futures. And like I said, zooming in over here, you could see we perfectly wicked down to it. So far, as far as the charts are concerned, nothing actually seems out of ordinary, right? Having a look right here, I did mention the fact that we could be peaking out on the macro. I haven't changed this triangle formation in months, to be honest with you. I do believe this is the legacy trend, and if we were to have that pullback, we could have more opportunities to accumulate before moving sideways again and having the breakout. Now, I did think that we were actually potentially going to see the breakout before the pullback. Was this the pullback? Well, to be totally honest with you, this was only about 12%. It seems kind of crazy if you're just getting into crypto, if you just bought Bitcoin, in the past week and you're seeing a move like this, you might be freaked out a little bit. But in all honesty, and I'm not trying to scare anyone, this really wasn't that big of a move. Bitcoin is historically known for these insane 20%, 30%, 40% pullbacks. And I know it's a meme at this point, but having a look right here, this was the insane rally of 2017. And you could see we had multiple 30%, 40% pullbacks while Bitcoin was still 20xing, literally from 1,000 to 20,000, okay? So this is to be expected. And, the one thing that I do need to just sort of pull us all into the macro here is, we are still having an amazing rally. I mean, if you look at it, that really isn't that big of a deal. That little pullback compared to all of these weeks. I mean, look at this. Look at this crazy chart that we've had recently, only to have this little bit of a pullback. And having a look at the weekly moving averages, we've had the golden cross. We're above the 200, 150, and the 21 exponential moving average, which is this green line, which I do consider to be one of the most important trends, important moving averages during a bull run. We're still maintaining above it. In fact, you can see the last time that we dumped, we did in fact break above it. So, assuming that this does kind of come out here, excuse all these crazy lines, we might come down and try to retest that again before moving to the upside. But let's talk about, honestly, why. Let's talk about why the Bitcoin price actually had a dump. Well, now that I actually had a look at the past history, I do realize that historically we do seem to dump on Thanksgiving in the United States. It could have something to do with the fact that it's a Thursday, a holiday that lines up directly with the last Friday of expiry. I probably should have noticed this. I don't know how I overlooked this because every year we do seem to be having a dump on this time. So that could just be the case right there. But another thing is that we were getting very overheated. We've had a lot of run up. We need a correction. You cannot go up forever, right? We were seeing the RSI. We were seeing crypto getting overbought, right? Also, just the fact that we have that 20K level as the psychological level. We had the fear and greed index, which looks like it still hasn't even updated, at the highest levels that we've seen since 2017. Extreme greed. And going down here, we do know that in times of extreme greed, that is usually when you see some of the biggest falls. For example, we had some of it back here in June of 2019, and that was that $13,000, $14,000 top before the pullback. We also have seen a lot of inflows. For a long time, we had actually money coming off of exchanges going into cold storage wallets. Recently, we did see an influx. Remember, I told you there were a lot of whales sending money over to Coinbase, potentially looking for an opportunity to sell, whether that be short term or long term. We also saw a lot of grayscale money actually leaving just in the past 48 hours leading up to that. Now, Jason Dean, he's an analyst over at Quantum Economics. He says that the rejection was taken as a sell signal by traders looking to profit, leading to lower price and reverse of the crypto. Another reason for the crash might be that Bitcoin was chronologically overbought, like I said earlier. In other words, buyers were getting greedy. This is usually classed at an overbought signal, which often precedes a correction. One other thing I want to mention too is that OKX which had its withdrawals closed, actually did allow users to withdraw their money off of the exchange. So given the timing with all of these fundamentals and technicals and the fact that one of the largest exchanges did allow people to start pulling it off, that could have had something to do with it. But one thing we need to mention is this tweet storm from Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase. Now, this came out 15 hours ago, and interestingly enough, correlated almost exactly to the hour with when the dump started. So he starts by saying, last week we heard rumors that the U.S. Treasury and Secretary Mnuchin were planning to rush out some new regulation regarding self-hosted crypto wallets before the end of his term. He says, I'm concerned that this would have unintended side effects and wanted to share those concerns. Now, this is a very, very long tweet storm, which I'm not going to go into, but Crypto Potato was kind enough to summarize the gist of what he was talking about. So if you're interested, you can definitely stick around. Also, there was some negative news that came out about a potential article that's going to be posted on the New York Times. We'll get into in a minute. So he did talk about the fact that they sent a letter to U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin regarding the rumored regulations. So should the proposed regulations become official, they would require financial institutions, including Coinbase, to verify the recipient owner of the self-hosted wallet, meaning it would collect identifying information on that party before completing the transaction. According to Armstrong, such requirements would lead to several potential issues because it is often impractical to collect identifying information on a recipient in the crypto economy. Some of those issues could affect users that send cryptocurrencies to various merchants online or to other people in emerging markets, where it is difficult or impossible to collect meaningful know your customer information. Even simpler transactions like upvoting some content on Reddit or transferring an item in a game, NFTs, would also require verification on the recipient, which makes the process prolonged and complicated. Now, speaking about this right now, for example, if you're using a ledger, every time you receive a new Bitcoin transaction, Ledger generates a new address. You can generate Ethereum addresses on, your MetaMask or over on my Ether wallet. So every single time I make a new wallet, I make a new account, I'll have to KYC, verify that that's mine. What about privacy? What about individual addresses that people send their crypto to for Binance, for things like, trading over on Bybit or things like that? What about NFTs? You want to send an in-game item from one person to another person. Now that has to get verified as well. This is not practical. This is potentially causing some of the fear. I'm not happy to hear about this. Now, some say that this regulation is good. They say that this is necessary. This is how we progress forward. We wanted Bitcoin to finally be accepted as a means of payment, as a store of value. Well, now the government's getting involved and saying, hey, we do recognize this as a legit means of value of transfer, but now you're going to have to treat it just like a bank account. It's going to have to be attached to an individual, to a person, to an entity, and we want to monitor everything because we want our taxes and we want to know who's sending what to where and how. But the reality of this is it's just absurd. It's ridiculous to try to get every single wallet. In fact, I myself literally have hundreds of wallets between my Ethereum wallets I've generated, my Bitcoin wallets that have been generated on my ledger. So I have to sit here and verify hundreds of wallets? Or what if I just want to have a crypto collectible? What if I want to buy something on Rarible? Now that has to also be verified in KYC. I have to prove that I'm the owner of this digital Pokemon card. Come on, guys. Let's be real here. If you want taxes, when you move crypto into your wallet, I sell on Coinbase, I turn that Bitcoin into usable US dollar cash, then fine, tax me on it. But trying to trace and do KYC on every single entity, every single wallet is absolutely absurd. And I do believe that it is a terrible, terrible decision by the US. And it could, in fact, as Brian Armstrong said, cause the US to suffer the most. And once again, the US is going to put ourselves behind the rest of the world moving forward for innovation as we continue to stifle innovation with with excessive regulation. If the crypto regulation comes out, he says it would be a terrible legacy and have long-standing negative impacts for the US. In the early days of the internet, there were people who called for it being regulated like phone companies. Thank goodness they did not. So at the end of the day, could this hurt the Bitcoin price short term? Absolutely. A lot of US citizens looking to get involved, people buying into crypto, they might be scared, they might not want to touch it, right? So yes, I think it could have some short-term ramifications on Bitcoin. I hope that they don't go through with this. I think it's ridiculous. And to be honest with you, even if they do go through with it, I don't think it's going to work. Because I don't think you can actually KYC every single wallet. It is absurd. It is ridiculous. If you're watching right now, I guarantee you have at least 5 wallets minimally. Most people, unless you just bought today for the first time or this week, right? The other little bit of bad news, I know, I'm sorry, I know, lots of bad news. Well, it's not bad news, but it's things we need to talk about. On top of the Coinbase news, 10 hours ago, they posted that the New York Times is planning to publish a negative story about Coinbase at some point in the next few days online, and it will appear in print on Sunday. Given that this story may be read by your friends, family, and professional contacts, we wanted to give everyone a heads up and provide some important context. So, I don't know what this negative story is going to be about. But yeah, just be ready for that. And one other bit of news, speaking about PayPal. Now, PayPal, we know, has been buying up about 70% of the Bitcoin supply. Lots of good news coming out with the fact that you are able to buy and sell and purchase things using crypto. However, now reports have emerged that PayPal is restricting users' accounts for purchasing cryptocurrencies too frequently. Come on, guys. According to a Reddit user, the Cool Doc, PayPal has sent the user a message stating that their account has been permanently limited due to a potential risk. The user went on to explain that they had made over 10 crypto transactions in 1 week where they bought dips and sold the crypto when the price was high. PayPal had asked the user to explain every transaction. The system flagged my account thinking I was selling items worth $10,000 in 1 week when I hadn't done so in the last 6 years I held a PayPal account. I submitted the stuff for review with my photo ID and wrote PayPal crypto for each crypto transaction because, well, what else could I say? Following this, PayPal responded in a few hours and noted that the user would not be able to conduct any further business using PayPal. The user continued that the remaining funds in his account, about $462, were placed on hold for 180 days. So, let's summarize today's video. It was the closing. It was Friday, the last Friday. It was the holiday. We have seen the Black Friday crypto sales. We did, in fact, have the fear and greed index getting extremely high. We did have a lot of inflows into exchanges. We were seeing Bitcoin very, very overbought, right? So lots of technicals pointing to the fact that a correction was due. Then, fundamentally, we had this news also come out about US regulators once again clamping down on cryptocurrencies in a ridiculous way. This to me is just insane. I understand why. I get it, right? They don't want, the money laundering and all that other stuff, but it's just not realistic. Crypto is a new paradigm. It is a shift away from the traditional way of doing things, and I just don't see this working. Sure, they may try to do it in the US, and okay, we may all have to verify every single account, which is going to be quite tiresome. I will be honest about that. But at the end of the day, is it going to stop Bitcoin? No, I absolutely don't believe it will. I don't believe anything could actually stop this chart. I think this chart is way too bullish. I don't believe that Bitcoin could ever actually be stopped. And I do believe that if, it really would just affect the US. And I think it's a shame because once again, it would just allow another country to move ahead and progress. And yeah, so that is that situation. But guys, enjoy your day today. It is the first Bitcoin dip. Hey, if you were waiting for that opportunity to buy, this could potentially be it, but do be careful because it is going to be a little bit rocky. We do have today, followed by the weekend, the futures expiring, so it could be a little crazy. We might not really see any major relief until Monday of next week, but if you were looking for the buying opportunity, as I said, definitely check that out. Have a look, but that is it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. Hey, it can't be sunshine and rainbows every day, but hey, if this is your first dip, well, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club, my friends. That's it for me today. Yeah, that's it for me today. Actually, I was kind of like wondering like when we were going to get this crash. I honestly thought it would have happened sooner than later. Could we go a little bit more? Yeah, I think we could still go down to about the 14,000 sort of $500 level. We don't have to. We could still have a fake out reversal to the upside. However, I do think we still are in overheated territory. So even if we do break out of the 20K level into the 22, 23, I still anticipate a major pullback. Still actually down to about these levels that we're at right now. But we'll have to see what happens, guys. Crypto is a crazy place to be. Enjoy your day. If it's freaking you out, stop refreshing your Blockfolio every 5 seconds. It's just an opportunity to buy the dip, and we all know where this thing is heading. So thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day, even on a U.S. holiday when I do have to go visit my family today, which is why the video is coming out a little bit earlier than usual. That being said, thank you for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. Enjoy your day. Get subscribed if you haven't. Leave a like, drop a comment, join the free Telegram group, or just simply stop by and watch the video. Either way, totally cool with me. I love you. You're awesome. My name's K-Dub. This is CryptoZombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.